Buenas. Voy a continuar con Elysium después de 2 días de parón. A ver qué puedo hacer el resto del día 3. Voy a vestirme un poco mejor.
It's you again. What is it?
Va a ser difícil convencerle con solo un 3%.
I've got nothing to say to you. Why are you...
Voy a enviar la carta que tenía que enviar a...
The dented yellow mailbox greets you with its graffito and bullet holes in the front.
A ver si tengo que hacer antes algo con el sobre. Para no liarla. Vale, pues ya está.
The dented yellow mailbox greets you. You drop the white envelope in the darkness. It lands with about a week's worth of mail as collected in there. Probably did the right thing. You can't trust that slug Everard.
All right, let's go back to Everard. If we don't mention anything to him, he won't know before it's too late.
Ya le puedo enseñar la placa años.
You're back. I love you did. Pleased to meet you, Lieutenant W. Freighter Dubois. I am glad to see a man. What can I help you with, Lieutenant?
How about you share your information on the lynching?
The goalposts have moved, Lieutenant. In the absence of the badge, I have informed my employer there would... I cannot rescind that promise. To my knowledge, the drivers are still at the roundabout. I will tell you everything I know when you've finished with them. My plan is to share information. The only way to do that now is by telling my employers you've kept your end.
How bad can the info?
The sooner the probe is finished, the sooner I can share crucial information with you. Now, is there anything I can do for you in the meanwhile? Tea, perhaps? Word has traveled, yes, but no.
It appears we are being monitored every step we take, Colonel. Did we have any other business here?
This...
Yes, reality is your side place.
Of course, the situation...
is still hunched over.
Huh? What is it? What do you want? Can you just call me a lady?
She clearly doesn't think she's a lady. Don't repeat it.
I'm not that either, Harife. I'm only terrifying to small children.
Yeah, it's not her. Believe me.
How should I know? Do I look like I spend a lot of time with the other communers sniffing around? Because they can no longer recognize the person I once was. The big ones, the trucks. There's no women and men there. It's all just in the middle of this town.
You feel very cold, son.
Oh, sim.
Something in her is pulling towards some unknown.
Everything's still cool here, officer. Everything's still...
You see too lowly.
I can see you with taste for luxury.
Speaking of luxury, a pair of found
Those sneakers, mister. Those sneakers are the latest found sneakers. Super air, super fine, super cool. Only 50 real.
These once a small heat emboss on the veneer reads. So
No, no, don't look at the speakers, officer. Look at these, officer. These speakers are Samaran garbage. I'm ashamed to even use them for props. Don't waste. No way, officer. These aren't for sale. They're bad speakers. Low-fi socialist junk. No, officer. You're a high-class policeman who accepts nothing less than the best. Lucky for you. Well, if you... But see, they are the pedestal for my sneakers. If I let go of the speakers, if, on the other hand, you wanted to buy the sneakers too, I could maybe throw in the speakers for little extra. 50 cents?
now that you've acquired some stimulants, it's time for a little pick-me-up. Time to detect. It's not ideal, no, but you need the zeal. Let's face it, you raise the pressure, press one nostril closed, and inhale furiously with the other. The rush is almost immediate. It tastes bitter and caustic, and stings a bit inside your... Now the taste is slowly receding into your throat. The rush is... And, let's be honest, there's a little chest pain. The good kind, of course. Time for a little truth. Tell the lieutenant you did some. Clear the air. Spring, spring.
Hola, Nico. ¿Qué tal?
Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here. Yeah. Why?
Why must we stop to look at this wall every time we pass by?
¿Cómo estás, Nico?
The sight of bullet holes stirs something in you. The faded marks are too degraded to draw any forensic conclusions. Just chips in the sandstone.
Where? There? Those are old. These bullets were fired during the revolution, over half a century ago. They do not warrant investigation.
Yo muy bien. ¿A qué estás jugando? ¡Ah! Estás con la tía. Vais a hacer que Space. Qué ricos.
Not much.
Dile a la tía que me envíe Space. No, que me envíe Space de verdad, no fotos.
The bed is comforting.
Ya me lo imagino que lo estaba escuchando. kilo de arena.
And Mikhail noticed the windows, especially with how there are no windows on the south side. This was to deal with. You officers, come to investigate the historic subtext of West Martinez? I'm Tran Heilostam. You must be Kim Kitsuragi.
Nice to meet you.
Yes, hypertext. Young Carp and the collection of
He's just making up fancy.
Oh yes, so Mikhail. They had to deal with monitor glare, especially in the summer. They still had vector monitors back then. That was 49 years ago. So they didn't have windows on the south wall. No, I can't say that we've met before, but I've heard of Kim, of course. Mikhail, say hi to the officers. Mikhail's a little tired today. We spent all night trying to run Orbis on his radio computer. Have you heard of it? It's a programming language used in Grad. Quite tricky, but he wanted to play this Grad-made adventure program. We've been getting really into verbs lately.
The man speaks in the artificial cadence of a professor, or someone who's been on too many radio shows.
But I assume you're not here for giant worms when there are so many real things to see. Just as I was telling Mikhail before, this is where the Coalition landed in '08. We could be standing on what is the most interesting landmark in Revachol West.
This man is your half-brother. You feel it. But why?
Aha! But it's not just any empty old building. What not a lot of people know is this used to be the R&D department of Felt Electrical. And Felt, which now sells ink cartridges mostly, was once a top dog in the turn-of-the-century cybernetics boom.
Hold on. What's R&D? It looks old and weathered, with seagulls picking apart its stone and metal carcass. Bushy undergrowth has taken hold of the collapsed rooftop.
Apologies, it's an acronym for research and development. They don't use it anymore. You're probably more familiar with RTD, Research and Technological Development.
Mea culpa. You are not.
That's not surprising. Only a vestigial ink cartridge and ferrotate manufacture. They started out as a midway electronics outfit in Königstein 2 centuries ago, after an aggressive move to Revachol. Still, Tricentennial was beating them in bit. It was here in Martinez, possibly in this very building, that they developed an elegant folding mechanism of rollers and ferrotape ribbons, portable enough to be a take-it-home solution, revolutionizing business machines, possibly even brick, which is a feat of engineering. Even today's giants, Rehm, ICN and Zam. Indeed. What?
The revolution!
Unfortunately, their moonshot project never made it to the market. Feld's move to Revachol backfired. The revolutionary government liquefied their assets and expropriated those very advanced prototypes, possibly from this very building, or one of the adjacent ruins. All of this was built by Feld, even a boardwalk. Wild Pines built Martinez proper as a resort for their middle management. Feld built this side of town for R&D.
Estás usando emojis del Minecraft. Ese es, ¿cómo se llama? El creeper, ¿no?
Yes, they even built a pleasure wheel, but that got destroyed in the war.
A pleasure wheel?
Perhaps reminded of a childhood memory. It's clear he would prefer there were a big wheel, like...
Yes, to lure in their star engineers. This part of Martinez was nothing but reeds before Feld arrived. They had to make the prospect of
Bueno, no
letting
pasa
him
nada,
track.
ya compraré Space.
It was supposed to become a global center for innovation. Oh, I'm afraid it didn't end well for the boys. But this story is a bit too dark for little Mikhail here. Now, if you would, they used them for military communications, but also to write and send out press releases. The most notorious example being Le Decret de Mars. What's the Mars Decree? I mean the radio transmission sent out to news agencies
Ignacio's
and world
Nacho?
governments by the newly created Commune of Revachol on the 7th of March in the year 02. It's a beautiful piece of text, actually. A singer-songwriter I know, Charette, called it a love poem to Revachol on her political concept album, Bombessé. I tried to get Mikhail to memorize it.
The kid takes a peek at the green and silver.
Actually, no one knows. No one even knows what a computer made entirely of tape would look like. But word has it, they were very elegant, exquisite, alien-looking turn-of-the-century hardware. 10 years ago, I did a little freelancing, I guess you could say. I was a special consultant for an exhibition at the Womty Dumpty Dum Center in Vredevoort, Oranje. It raised the same questions, and we had...
Wait, did he just say Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center? He did it. He said Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center. Like it's... What the hell is a Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center? And who the hell are Keith and Guy?
The Womty Dumpty Dum Center for Contemporary Arts. The exhibition itself drew on Lagerman's notion of memory, and so there were some parallels. That's why the head curator, Paul Ockerman, chose to...
Ah. Vale.
In fact, I'm not. The Womty Dumpty Dum Center is a place you can visit if you're ever in Vredevoort and are ever in the market for an exhibition space / contemporary art research center. But perhaps I should return to the tape computers. As I was saying, the device itself was very elegant, fragile even. One could write directly on the tape using a special chemical solution. Very, very cool. Though I understand the socio-economic causes of the revolution, it pains me to imagine the revolutionaries setting fire to this precious device. But so they did. The felt playback experiment vanished into the fires of 07.
Hola, Ignacio.
Yes, the official name of the prototype. Some sources, who knows? Maybe it was an accident, or maybe they didn't want the technology to end. But of course, what else? No, thanks to you for having me.
You see, a once bright mural towering above you. A slogan used to intertwine.
Looks like tomorrow never came.
Nico, creo que el mío menos. Fueron 4 o así, no.
There's a cylinder on the ground in which the man is arranging some netting. It looks like some kind of trap. He notices you.
Who's there? Oh.
Is that the police? Why are the police here?
Don't worry, Gary. I'll handle it. To what do I owe the pleasure? Of course, Thank you for passing along the message. That damn water lock is broken. We can't go all the way around the A81. You broke the water lock with a motor carriage. There was a billboard in the canal. Not a vehicle. It said Samaran Butter.
Did he say we can go back now?
Yes, Gary. We can go soon. If you see Lena, tell her I won't be long.
Sir, your wife is...
I just have to do one more round. See if the phasmid has taken the bait. Then we go in.
For all his passion, this man is diligent and patient. You could learn things from him.
Which is why we've been knee-deep in the reeds laying traps for him. Typical rookie assumption. Insects are much more sophisticated creatures than that. Even simply catching a glimpse of the Insulindian phasmid would be the apex of of any cryptozoologist's career. But to study it and its defenses, find out how it's...
Would be glory itself.
Good question. Being a phasmid of the order Phantasmodea, a ghost insect, it disguises itself as plant matter. In this case, the reeds. Awful lot of reeds around, aren't there? And I suspect it may have also developed other specialised techniques to protect itself from... It's my hypothesis, but I cannot describe how these defences work, much less how they evolve, without studying...
Yes, it makes perfect sense. You're beginning to suspect there's something paranatural about this phasmid.
I'm expecting it to be quite giant.
Seems puny to...
Very little. Not yet. That's what...
Just out of curiosity, if there's no proof of its existence, how do you know it's real?
I know it's real. By which I mean, I've heard enough first-hand...
What would it be like to grasp and hold onto something you think is next to you, or just behind you, like a trace of vapor you exhaled one spring morning as a child? This is what he's...
Yes, the most recent sighting was by a couple of teenagers along the coast here. That's what brought us to Martinez specifically. It's the first credible sighting in several decades. Admittedly, it's an unusual location for this species, but with all the sewage runoff upstream, it probably doesn't matter much anymore. I have to resist the thought. Such an extraordinary creature is doubtlessly hot. Yes, the females don't need males to reproduce. Makes it easier for a species to survive. Yes. The Insulindian phasmid is a very clever insect. That's why it's so damn difficult to catch. But as a scientist, I'll try my best to remain dispassionate. Well, they may not... Yes. Simple. Attracted by the locusts. At least, that's the intention. The net isn't a locust.
Inside the traps.
They'll work.
The traps do seem...
Yes. What? And I'm eager to return to her, I assure you. But I can't leave before we finish with these traps.
Que va, Nico, es muy fácil. Con un programa es muy sencillo.
My wife understands that just as well as anyone.
Con el Streamlabs, se llama el programa, es súper fácil.
Come on, Morale. We've been soaking out here for days. It's time to go
Y cuando
back.
lo hago desde la Play es incluso más fácil todavía.
And leave the traps? Absolutely not. I won't let Lena down.
Come on, she wants us back. I'm soaked up to my nuts over here. We'll both catch reed crabs if we don't dry out soon.
Of course it's important to her. She's seen it. A verified sighting, on record. One of only 40th century, and it's hers. Yes, that's how we first came to know one another, in fact. But that's her story to tell, not mine.
Desde la beta es la tablet.
Needless to say, you must ask her about the mysterious phasmid.
Suffice to say, it's long been our dream to find proof of the Insulindian phasmid together. I can't abandon course now.
La Play 5.
Oh, no. The traps need to be monitored on a regular schedule.
He's dead set on this. I could go for some trap setting.
I didn't expect you to take such an interest in our work here, officer. Yes, indeed. Both require great... There are 4 in total. One is to the south, on this little peninsula, by the boathouses there. It's
No, la
very
Play 4 no la tengo, solo tengo la 5 ahora. La Play 4 la tiene Caro.
Another we set in Land's End, to the northeast. It's behind a small sand dune there, on your way to the old radio tower, after the church. The third is set near the canal, where you crossed, by a concrete
Que no
slab.
te vacilo, que tengo la Play 5.
Of reeds going up the slope. You should check at least one of those before returning to this one, since I just said it. This one's more of a technicality, but still, better safe and stupid than sorry.
That seems like a lot. Do we really have time for this extracurricular venture? Is it?
If you think it's important, you have.
Bring it to me at once. Just make sure that
He's not comfortable with the possibility that you'll claim the find.
that's highly
Ahora
unlikely,
mismo, Nico,
officer.
es igual la 4 que la 5. La 5 no tiene más juegos. Solo hay uno o dos más.
pheromone mixture.
Did you hear that? Pheromones. You were right about the teenagers.
Oh, I doubt there is any connection there. Anyway, these pheromones will attract the insect to you, or at least prevent it from bolting at the sight of you. It's quite potent. Should last. Wise choice.
This is the smell of dying reed.
I hope you're not buying this. It dispenses it without letting you touch the canister, so it...
It is precious.
Right. Which means you two can pack up and go back to the welding.
Whatever he thinks about this detour,
Finally, someone.
Thank you for your help. Gary and I will start breaking. I've just always liked...
he seems reluctant to talk about himself, but he'll open up. If you prod.
No. Very few of the list of cryptids kept by the Cryptozoological Society of Chemney. which is 4,082 items long. About 2,000 have been confirmed. 2 are categorized as confirmed. Yes, the Chateau Quan forest pygmy, who turned out to be an extinct species of primate, and a cave sap. We cryptozoologists are brutally honest with ourselves. More so, in fact, it is 0.05%. Ever more magnificent, should our search It's not child's play. Yes?
Sí, igualmente ahora es muy difícil comprarlas. A mí me costó mucho de tiempo. Ya la he enviado.
Hello, I'm Gary. Very generous of you to help us out, officer.
Claro que es la PS5, Nico, si te dije, es verdad que me la ha comprado.
Yellow man. I mean, officer.
The lieutenant raises his
La compré
eyebrows
hace
slightly
2
and
meses o
takes
así.
out his notebook. Yellow man. That sounds awfully familiar. Something to keep in mind for later.
I'm just waiting for my friend Morel to finish up with his insect I like nature, just not this bloody coast. It's mostly drunks and degenerates that come here.
Sí, sí, también tengo la Switch.
Dark times will do that to
This man is no innocent. No.
Oh, so that's what the RCM in Martinez is about. Great. Great to hear someone's finally taking care of that.
So you do know something about it?
No. Nothing. He was...
He didn't kill him or anything, but this...
My mug? Why would you think that? Really? I hear it all the time. All in jest, of course. No offense meant to. Okay, I admit it. I threw the... You're not going to find me, are you? Whew. Thank you. You won't I don't know what got into me, really. Work is...
What did you do?
Nothing!
Here we go. Start pumping that...
I know a guy who works with the trash collection services. CS Municipal. He gave me a master key for the trash containers of Martinez. So I can use the Whirling's trash compactor to store my own stuff. Garbage disposal is expensive as hell. The damn Chimeans run it like a mob. I'm sorry, okay? I thought I could cut costs. I shouldn't have.
Disgraced. No need for the histrionic, sir. It was, after all, just a trash company.
He studies his reaction. Gary doesn't answer.
Officer, please. Let me explain. I was only cleaning up. I live right across the yard from where he was hanged, and I saw him stripped naked. Then I came out to clean up the rags because no one else would. I put them into the Whirling's trash, along with a broken mug, admittedly. Okay. I was coming to throw the mug away, and...
Right. It was just civic.
Exactly. That's
As he shifts uncomfortably, a series of clicks.
What sound? Really? There's lots of weird stuff out here in the
Every day, the wind shifts the reeds, and what the sound you heard was not the sound of some...
Armor? No. I mean, yes. Of course. I know...
An infant could see he's not telling the truth, but he's too...
I hope I could help your investigation, in my small way.
Don't be so relieved yet, Gary. This bad cop may have been in your apartment, admiring your mug collection. Perhaps a little intimidation?
No. I help Morell with research sometimes, and I've learned some things along the way. But I don't...
What does he do then? This feels like a good opportunity to dominate him.
Oh, this and that. Sometimes.
See, he's being evasive.
I just didn't want to bore. I work as a special courier. You know. Oh, I don't know. Yes, officer? Not many Sealites here, or anywhere, other than Sale. No problem at all.
¿Por qué flipáis que tenga la Play 5?
Sure do.
His eyes narrow slightly. He's wondering where this is going.
In my home. Yes. When I was going to... Is this about the Union? Did the big man open the door? So you work for Everard Clare? Officer, please tell him we're good. What have I done? He'll send the muscle after me. Of course. I won't...
This scared him proper.
The weather vane has turned. He cannot be unturned.
He clearly liked his squirming. He may even have changed his mind about the whole door opening operation. Is he? He's looking comfortable enough. Maybe it was just beads. Sounded like beads. But what kind?
I don't pray, officer. Faith in non-existent helpers is a sign of weakness. Not for proper Revicolian men such as ourselves.
Ya, porque hay muy pocas ahora. Y hasta dentro de un año o así no habrá muchas.
That patch of reeds over there. It's a great place to hide something.
Y cuando las
Kind of
ponen
out of the
a
way.
vender duran
Being so close to
5
the
minutos
water.
o menos.
Nothing. There's a trap in the reeds at your behind you. When this district, locusts are crawling around in the trap, confused.
Big surprise. Anyway, 1 down, 3 to go. I meant no offense, just...
A scattering of bullet holes is spread across the cracked wall, reaching from one corner to...
Meaning, this is a lot of bullet holes. The manufacturing and sale of automatic rifles was curtailed after the revolution. The destructive power of such tools.
A scattering of bullet holes is spread across the cracked wall, reaching from one corner to the other, unable to piece together the big picture just now. The scattering of bullet
Hoy voy a comer pechuga de pollo. Ya lo imagino.
It's getting cold.
Good night, officer.
I was just thinking, what? Yes. The night before I saw you in the hallway and reminded you you're a police officer. Wow. Elysium.
She's a glib girl, but she...
There was the usual ruckus. Loud. I can't say. Probably not. Oh, yes. Various artists. Ostentatious were huge where I come from. I was very young then, of course. Like 7. It would appear so. At around 2 o'clock, the disco... A slow, sad song started playing. Like organ music on repeat. That went on for quite a while. Some of that... Yes, there was a church in there. A really small church. Like the smallest, saddest church in the whole... That it doesn't matter anymore, and that we're alone now. It was difficult to tell. Then you started screaming and trashed the place. No, it didn't sound like there was a fight. A window was smashed. The tape player, probably. The song stopped. And furniture, too. A real destructathon. There was. I think you screamed that you didn't want to be this type of... I went out afterwards. Everything was quiet by then. Around... No problem, sir.
No, no lo vi. ¿Tú lo viste? Sé que ganó el Madrid, no estarás contento. Con una falta falsa. Ah, vale, vale. ¿Pero quién se tropezó? ¿Uno del Madrid? Partido comprado.
A familiar apparatus light. The reeds bend. The constant. This trap is man.
Sí, menos mal. Menos mal.
It's getting cold. This late in the night. The bed is comforting. Yep. Across the room, the heating system hums its soft lullaby. The mattress feels soft.
Thoughts, baby. A million little lights in the dark. You're one
Recorded in you. Forever.
on and on it goes. For untold
Behold, there are millions of them down there. The first time. The last time.
It's the world,
Alberto del Madrid.
boy. And you can never forget this shit.
All stuck.
You're the son of the world again. Harrister, a ceaseless agent.
Reading your awful letters.
You'll go insane if you keep going like this. One more day.
For the working class.
Solving your little crossword puzzles. Doing your task.
He's got no idea what he's in for.
Awesome. Beep, beep, beep.
You can do it. It's nothing. Do it for the win. Rise and shine, comrade. Despite all the thinking you've been doing, only 0.0001% of communism has been built. It's too great a task to undertake alone. You're going to have to get organized. You must seek out your revolutionary brothers and sisters. Find out, but it won't be easy. Decades of persecution, they live underground. These communists aren't men. They're mole people. Just between us, you may want to lay off this grind up the bourgeoisie. Let your nose guide you, detective. No, we meant your nose, as in that swollen muck detector. We really have no idea what they're talking about. Failure. It's a smell you know all too well. Simultaneously repulsive, and what you're smelling is your own body odor, of course. Nothing a shower. People sometimes complain there are no real communists. First, you'll have to locate the remaining communists in Martinez. When you, again, no, it won't. You should begin by interrogating those lawless Malcolm. Here we go. Wait. On the table, you see a bowl of water, a rough soap, and next to it, a small hand mirror. A straight razor soaks inside the wash bay. The water you'll be looking like a bit. On the table, you see a bowl of water, a rough soap, and next to it, a small hand mirror. Like an artist with a brush or a master swordsman, you use the small mirror and the straight razor with some soap to remove all that unkempt hair from below. The sharp blade chafes against your skin, producing a scratching sound. They feel so small, surprisingly so. The water reflects back a vague image of your clean-shaven face, despite the beardless nature.
Vale, Nico. Disfruta de hacer los crespéis. Ya hablamos. Hasta luego.
something, Hunt? Come to tell me to fuck off? I don't know what you're talking about. He did something. He stole his employer's goods and another lorry.
He's been expecting this.
Listen up, fuckwits. You don't scare me. You cops don't run Revachol West. You don't run Mark.
No. He means La Pute.
The name resounds like a bell. It looks like the lieutenant has a...
Yeah, him.
Then I presume you are familiar with...
Yeah, they're his little bitches. He's got them all over the unions.
Not just the unions. He has peonies everywhere. Some say he even has them in the RCM. Dirty fucking peonies who'd do anything for him.
You're not peonies. You wouldn't be investigating a drug thing.
No, of course not. We are not peonies. But if we were, and one of Madre's drivers were to be stealing from him, then it's a good... It's not a hard job. It won't take a long time. It won't make Madre angry. But a stupid fuck...
I'm not scared of you or the mob. I'm under...
You've seen that corpse in the ceramic armor there. Did his shitty little guild protect him?
Nah, you wouldn't just leave him out there if you...
The lieutenant turns and I softened him up as best I could. Now it's on you to finish the job.
Been in my eye.
On the bottom of the map, the wind howls over the bay of Revachol. A cascade of cold air.
It's Revachol. Custom made. You'll see when the time comes.
Technically, you're...
I know you people don't understand poetry.
Men like this, time to turn up the volume.
Fuck you, I told you, I'm...
There. His voice grows smaller as yours.
Fucking... Oh, look, fuck you, man. It's some lorry down there. Green back...
When did she...
I don't know. I don't even know her name. She just rolls with the fleet and acts like a...
Now it's not a big...
Past the monument. Down there. The Green Temple. Now...
A small temple, but...
Looks like he got his adrenaline. This screen found.
This must be the one he told us about.
The door is locked. There's no picking this lock. The owner
used the pry bar to smash the window. Open it. I don't know how good it is, but this investigation has taken long enough. We can't afford it to take any longer.
This screen found, A to Z, contemporary, is the glass on the side. Posters cover the It feels like you're peeking into someone's home residence. Inside it's private. With a firm grip, you raise the pry bar. A glint of light catching on the tip. Call down the hammer of truth and justice. Release your window shut.
Subtle.
The smell of cigarettes. There's something odd about the passenger seat. The seating fabric. These are movie posters featuring starlet. One of them particularly catches your eye. There's definitely perfume. The remnants of a sweet juniper-scented perfume. The actress is draped in a sheathed dress. One of her shoulders bared. The faded remains of an autumn feeling of tenderness washes over you. Wait, the actresses, and it looks like the frequency dial is absent. It requires a key to work, but...
Strange. There are so many radio stations saved here. Must be over 100 at least. Doesn't look like it.
The ghostly actress, you wedge yourself under the steering wheel to get a better look. Seems like, but one odd detail does catch your eye. Sandpaper adds extra grip.
Sandpaper? A novel technique? Yes?
Do the honors, he thinks. Connect it to yourself.
Which means that the missing lady driver was present at the lynching. Looks like her, yes. Now we know for certain who's the missing eighth person at the lynching. Do you think that Hardy and his boys could also be involved in the drug operation? Understood. We should still go and see what Titus has got to say on
The movie stars are still... Voila! A stack of neatly folded papers has been stashed behind the seating fabric. You see 3 maps depicting a large metropolitan area.
Bonne prise.
This large map displays the elevated motorway called 881. The intake leading to Martinez is marked with a blue X. There's another X on the off-ramp. Toll booths at the intakes. There, hundreds of thousands of motor carriages roar on the 8. This municipal map from the 30s displays a complex system of storm sewers, and no storm will ever... Wind rips through the empty hallways of the once great, the rattle of motor carriages and...
Best not to disturb the scene. I'll have forensics.
The stack of maps look slides out from the seat. It's an issue of Petty Ferrique from last winter. It looks like an article ripped out from a... These formulas look oddly painful.
The Ulan frequency system? I've never...
That enclose the rusty oak.
Great. I think we got everything. A word, detective? All right, we've finished here. Let's quickly... Honestly, I'm quite worried by what we've seen so far. I'm especially intrigued by that radio transmitter, particularly the sheer number of stations it can connect. I'm not sure what the Ulan frequencies are all about, but they may hold some significance. Perhaps it's a better way to connect.
Listening in on your calls.
Oh, and the maps we found. They reveal the geographical extent of the operation. Looks like they've used abandoned tunnels and last but not least, it looks like the Hardy boys knew this driver, as we know that she was present at
The probe and the case converged, he thinks.
Like Joyce told us, yes, logistically. But don't expect to bust this open during our stay here. At best, we should return to the murder case. See what Joyce tells us about the lynching. When we are done for the day, I call my... There are more than enough grounds to start an official investigation. Sometime later, when we are done here. The fact that one hasn't started already gives me pause. An investigation, I mean. Especially if the Madrid grouping is involved, and I can't imagine they aren't. It's certainly worrisome. All the same, I don't like the idea of internal affairs descent as elegant as they are.
Don't be fooled. Desire always plays a role.
Yes, well...
Unimportant.
Debrief over. After you.
I saw you poking around in Lady Driver's lorry. She in trouble? Nah, man. I was telling you the truth. I really didn't think it'd be her.
What else?
Nothing. We just talked a bit. About life and stuff. She left me a key so I can park a lawyer if the jam broke. So, she in trouble or what?
to project strength and power.
The Debardeurs have over 2,000 men.
Have you ever seen a hornet invade a beehive, Lieutenant? It's not pretty. These men were, as I said, a bloodbath.
It appears you found it, yes, and I'm not happy for you.
Too many things have already gone wrong. Lieutenant Double Yafreta Dubois. All we can do is keep that which is not from following suit. One single concrete suspect delivered into civil court, and I may be able to defuse this situation. If you mean did I...
You don't know how you know. It's not written.
Light is Lely. One is...
What would you say was his eye color?
She closes her eyes, trying to picture.
I can't remember.
That's all right. Anything else? Nationality?
He was 40. Or 50.
This matches the dental reconstruction we saw on the body. And classier.
It was, in a way, it was humanizing. He had to learn to speak through it. Through the injury. Not much.
Down a deep black well.
They boast a long list of clients. Saint-Baptiste, Welchman Lorenz, Eendracht. A warning sign, however.
Meaning they're...
Yes. All the good conflict corridors. Sadly, no. If you still have access to the ICP's database, you could run a better background check than I ever could. It may take some time, though.
Do you know a lot about the inner workings?
In my line of work, it pays to do your research. I have. And they will. Or he didn't. This is information passed on to me from some teenagers. Loitering. The remaining contractors. That the man was...
This does not come as news to us, but still. To your knowledge, what...
Last Sunday night. Either way, he's alleged to have sexually assaulted a woman. Good. Then they've gone to ground, as it were. I don't recommend seeking them out. They don't have the same respect for...
Vigilantes. You're a professional officer of the only legitimate authority in Revachol.
Somehow, I doubt that lecturing them on the legitimate use of force will persuade them. You're likely to run into them eventually. When that happens, I'll be in a better position to mediate if I don't...
One is obviously the scout leader at the harbour gates. The other has a vantage point in a building south of the roundabout.
That may be so. I still hope...
For all your talk of averting this catastrophe,
Of course it bothers...
your concern may be
would afford a good vantage point. In any case...
Where is your...
Heavens no. I hope I can answer it better. Until the executions start. Truthfully, I don't know.
They don't report their progress to you?
Not on this matter.
5 days.
It's a matter of days, not weeks. I am sorry to have been the bearer of bad news. Of course.
For about half a minute, she wears fingers.
It was taken with a Trigat not long ago. This is the man's upper body. There were no more markings on his hands and legs.
Her mouth is relaxed. She has no excessive emotion.
Sorry, I can't. But that's how you read this story. The points themselves don't have letters, numbers, anything. Their size, location, close. Port cities. This is an Oronese map of the waterway. The sailor's soul would use it to fly back home if they should die abroad. This is a sort of contract.
Where is he now?
The times have changed. Quite a few. Redefort, the Oronese capital.
What next?
Then he made his way to the Petto Grande, through what I think must be the Stutz Canal, an artificial Revachol. Those are the two constants. Redefort on the shoulder, and Revachol.
You said you can't read it.
I can't. This man was no sailor. His platoon members? The other contractors?
You could go this or the other way. Maybe if you're...
Do what you have to do, Detective Dubois.
We will be careful.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
Cop of the apocalypse. It's not fire. It's not ash. There will most certainly be...
It's you again. What is it? Like hell you have. There is no local...
We'll do that. The person driving it was present at the hanging. It was one of you. We've connected the footprints. Detective, thank you. You're right, Titus. There is no local drug trade.
That's a mighty interesting theory.
Yeah, man. Theoretically, that's what you would do.
You would need good, trustworthy people to take their place, of course. Hardy, man, boo-fucking-who. People.
Yeah, that's what the labor movement...
Theoretically.
Not quite yet, Mr. Hardy. There were 8...
My answer is... fuck.
And here we go.
I know! Fatty walked on all fours. He's so fucking... Go fuck your mom.
That's more like it, boys. You heard him. It was Angus on all fours. Anything else you need to know?
Yeah.
Wouldn't want to beat up his grandma.
Nervous snickering. There's a rush of adrenaline present.
This is what happens if you take the law into your own hands.
Let them come. The Hardy Boys.
You heard the man. Yeah. Well.
The mood is on the rise. They're feeling confident, ready to punch out the whole.
Big fucking surprise. We got weapons of our own. We got Easter fit. I guess we're gonna see. Yeah. Like you've been up against, so you haven't even seen. So are the local gangs. The fucking Barmy Army.
Yeah. What are they now, huh?
These people are trained military professionals.
No, they're not. They're... What do you mean? Okay. No, they won't. Get out of here.
He really doesn't like you ruffling their feathers like that.
All he means is that the situation is...
No wonder you cops get shot to shit every day. Can't go to war with an attitude like that.
Clausia is playing them. Those are the other guys. My shit is solid gold. That's right. Pussy boy. What the hell is going on here? That doesn't sound trustworthy at all.
No, we fucking ain't, asshole.
No, Glenn. I want to hear this. Who do you think is fucking fiddling me?
I think you're losing it, Fiddleman.
No.
He'll put the fiddle down. Put it down, officer.
I do not understand. This fiddle played totally... Wait. No. Something about this bunch. They are. But they don't. No, they don't. Glenn see in the far back. And from his perch at the other sides, you're pretty
Hello again, officers. Have you... And what do you know about politics? Well, well.
your olfactory department. Once you...
Sure. I know someone who'd love to talk to a right communist who runs a mega cool... I might... No.
A wicked grin, a laughing skull.
Oink for me, piggy. Just once. Wrong! This is it there. That wasn't...
It's not the worst indignity you've suffered the last several days, but the lieutenant needless.
Sounds like you're really serious. Staban's group meets only at night. In an old room in these apartments. Poke your snout around sometime after 10 p.m. and you might just find them. hold on. You didn't think... See, Stepan's a bit on the paranoid side. He's got all these mega secret passports. Sure, I do. Why would I? Now, let's see if you... That's enough. Off with you then. And what do you know about politics? Oh, that's very nice. The little piggy wants to make sausages. So the little pig, sure. A right communist. I might know. Keep your money. What I want from you.
A wicked grin, a laughing skull.
Boink for me, piggy. Just once. There.
It's not the worst, indict the lieutenant.
Sounds like you're real. Stepan's group meet. Poke your snout around sometime after 10 p.m. and you might just find them. Just that he's a real communist. Not like, oh, smart. See, Stepan's a bit on the paranoid side. Why would I? Now, let's see. That's enough. Off with you then.